Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Think about the talk today is about childhood trauma. Well then, childhood trauma comes back as a reaction, a symptom, or a core belief. So here's how. Childhood trauma is so impactful on our lives because it's trauma that occurred during our emotional development. This shapes the way we see ourselves, other people, and the world around us. This is called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It is somehow as a result of a series of compounded childhood traumas. There's at least 7 symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. The first is emotional flashbacks, like feeling anxious, irritable, moody, or having intense sensations. When you experience a trigger event is something that reminds you of the core trauma. For example, when someone comes into the room, you are easily startled because your father would go into rage cycles out of nowhere as a child. The second symptom, the hyperarousal. Hyperarousal is a hyper-awareness of the environment where your body is on alert. When we experience childhood trauma, our internal threat system is on overdrive. Usually, we don't feel at ease in situations that are outside of our comfort zone. It can look like dizziness, fear of crowds, intense anxiety, heart pounding, and etc. The third symptom, relational issues. Our childhood relationships set the foundation for our adult relationships. When we don't develop in a safe relationship, we will develop insecure attachment patterns, meaning relationships feel unsafe and overwhelming. The fourth symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder is little or even no memories. When we can't remember much or anything about our childhood, it is likely we were dissociated. Dissociation is when we leave our bodies yet appear physically present. It is a protection mechanism that allows us to stay safe. The fifth symptom is confusion over what is real. A core trait of childhood trauma is having your reality denied. Parent figures directly that didn't happen or indirectly deny your reality, which causes a lack of self-trust. It looks like even occurs and no one talks about it. The sixth symptom is apathy. Overall disconnection can look like numbness or checking out of life. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder creates a perception that the world is dangerous, bad, and that life is meaningless or even hopeless. This often is labeled as depression. The seventh symptom, inability to self-regulate. We learn how to regulate our emotions from our parents' figures. If you don't learn how to self-regulate, we can turn to food, alcohol, shopping, or any other coping mechanism we were modeled. You know, childhood trauma changes the way our brain functions. Specifically, it impacts the amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex. This influences how we perceive our environment, our ability to access logic, and how we respond to situation. So, how we manage it? It depends on how we understand things to heal or repair complex post-traumatic stress disorder, like the body must be brought into treatment like somatic therapies. Widening your window is the key. To heal, we have to teach people how to widen their stress window of tolerance slowly. Boundaries are your friend. Those with complex post-traumatic stress disorder almost always come from family systems that lack boundaries. Learning to set and hold boundaries is the key. Next, honor the inner child. Our inner child needs to feel safe and validated. Last, acknowledge abuse for what it is. Typically, those that experience childhood trauma don't play or say it wasn't that bad. Understanding childhood emotional abuse and neglect is key to grieving the event and healing from them. So that's the simplest way to explain a little bit about complex post-traumatic stress disorder and how to manage it. Keep in mind that you may need to consult to a therapist or someone you consider competent in the field, or even someone who has experienced complex post-traumatic stress disorder and succeed through it. This is Satya Udharma. See you in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.